I've heard a lot about the Mille Miglia, but never really understood why it has such a special status in Italian motor racing history, given the last proper race took place in 1957. This video is about that race and what makes it so unique. The Mille Miglia played a major role in establishing Italian car makers like Ferrari, Fiat, Lancia and Alfa Romeo. Enzo Ferrari said that the Mille Miglia created our cars and the Italian automobile industry. But it also played a role in creating the modern Italy, running from the days of Mussolini to the dawn of the Dolce Vita. The Mille Miglia was first run in 1927, and many things about it reflect those times. These were the years of fascism, which glorified things like modern machinery and speed, as well as classical Rome. What better way of combining these contradictory things than a car race measured in imperial Roman miles and connecting modern Rome with the industrial north? The 1,000 miles ran from Brescia to Rome and back on the ordinary public roads through the Apennines, including passes such as the Raticosa. It contrasted with the Italian Grand Prix, which originally had been held near Brescia, but had been moved to the dedicated racetrack at Monza, away from the public roads. The race was an opportunity for the new and thriving Italian car industry, with names like Alfa Romeo, Zagato and Ferrari winning races and Fiat and Lancia competing, with Bindo Maserati amongst others racing in the early days. The first race in 1927 was won by Giuseppe Morandi and Fernando Manoia in an Officina Meccaniche, a company which was in the vanguard of Italian car making in many ways, including being one of the first to succumb to Fiat, and incidentally, OM still exists as a brand for forklifts built in Germany. In the pre-Second World War days, the winner would average speeds around 60 miles per hour on the public roads, but by the end this was over 97 miles per hour. The race attracted public attention and spectators were in the millions. It sounded like total chaos. One driver, Donald Healey of Austin Healey fame, called it a lunatic race and described how, quote, "you went through city streets that had streetcars and buses going down the centre of the road and you were obliged to cut people aside a bit." Accidents were common, as were fatalities. In 1938, an accident in Bologna caused the death of 10 people, and even Benito Mussolini decided it wasn't safe to continue to run the race on public roads. Interestingly, after the war, Mussolini's health and safety approach was abandoned and the race returned to the public roads. All the post-war races were won by Italians in Ferraris, Alfas or Lancias, with the notable exception of 1955, which was won by Stirling Moss and Dennis Jenkinson in a Mercedes in record time. Their success was attributed to stimulants and preparation. However, in 1957, 2 fatal crashes, including one near Mantua, which killed 10 spectators, including 5 children, led to the proper race being stopped, although it did continue for a few years subject to legal speed limits. In total, at least 56 people were killed in the 25 races held, all adding to the race's mystique. You can imagine the impact of the race as the ordinary folk of pre-war Italy watched the latest cars literally roar through their central Italian villages, and the silence they must have left behind them. My mother still remembers the impact it had coming through Umbria in the 1950s, even though she was just a young girl at the time. And cantautore or singer-songwriter Lucio Dalla did a song dedicated to it. There's a museum of the Mille Miglia too, in Brescia. The Mille Miglia continues to this day as an event for classic cars, which, although driven at road legal speeds, remains incredibly popular with drivers and spectators. It still feels like a jamboree. Everyone is crazy for the Mille Miglia, says Umbria in Diretta, as the modern race passes through Terni 70 years after my mother first saw it. I would love to do the Mille Miglia, probably now rather than in its dangerous heyday, and I am available as a driver or navigator, but you will need to provide the vintage car. Oh, and the entry fee too. I hope you found this video interesting. Please do subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this, and I will see you soon.